Yo, what's the deal, fam? It's your man, Eeze. Happy Father's Day to all the gentlemen out there doing their jobs, man. We appreciate y'all. But a lot of talk out here about relevancy. In particular, Jim Jones' name always comes up. For whatever reason, NAS is involved as well. But relevancy, in my opinion, is a double-edged sword, right? Because a lot of people seem to think that's the barometer as to who is successful, right? But relevancy can also mean that you're just trying to fit in with your contemporary. So being relevant doesn't always mean that you are unique or you're any good at your craft, right? Now, that's not any shade to anyone that I'm speaking of, but we got to be very careful, like when we speak on those things, because relevancy isn't something we should always strive for, right? You want to be effective, and that's what Escobar is, Nasir Jones. Not saying that Jim Jones isn't, but the fact that these two are even paired together in the conversation is nasty work. And you can't even blame the youngsters for this, because I'm seeing a lot of OGs or older gentlemen on social media push the narrative. I don't know if it's for clicks, views, or just, engagement farming, but the fact of the matter is, how could you even pair these two together? Music-wise, we already know how that goes. Jim Jones, we respect his work ethic, and yet he's relevant because he's decided to garner the attention from a demographic that someone like Nas is outgrown. In that capacity, as far as commercial success goes, he may pull them to the side and drop jewels or want to see them grow and evolve into elder statesmen. But the problem with Jim Jones is that he's relevant because he decided and made a conscious decision to still move like a youngster. So I don't know why we continue to have these discussions. I did a video maybe about 2 months ago concerning this, when Jim Jones was on The Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne asked him, how does it feel to be the oldest young ninja, something like that. And I thought that was kind of like a backhanded compliment. But some people, that's exactly what they want. This is the success that he's always wanted. But to continue to throw him in the same pot as Nas is crazy. And if Nas isn't relevant, based on the way some people like to use that term or word, why are they always bringing him up? Why is he always the barometer? Why is he always the standard? And why is Jim Jones' relevancy always attached to someone else, whether it's beefing with Cam or challenging Styles P to a versus or just saying outlandish things? Because hits, what is a hit nowadays? What memorable hit does Jim Jones have outside of balling? I'm talking about a hit. Y'all talking hits, right? Because a lot of it is just regional. And we're not talking about records that you did over in a freestyle capacity. A lot of people like to have revisionist history. And that's why music is what it is, because it seems like the discourse, the takes, and the arguments and debates have more traction than the actual music. And I'm not really here for that. I just wanted to give my 2 piece, because to even continue to compare Nas and Jim Jones is absurd. And I expect much more from some elder statesmen in the game. And what do you expect if you're going to ask an 18, 19-year-old about relevancy? Of course they're going to gravitate to the individual who dresses like them, who talks like them. Growth is where it's at, man. Not to say that Jim isn't evolving as a human, but one could say, musically, is that something you look forward to? Is the antics, sitting down on the couch in an interview and leaning back intentionally so money can fall out your pocket? That's relevancy? That's being relevant? If that's what y'all want, y'all can have it. Some of us enjoy just being successful, doing what we do and staying under the radar. And I think that's what people aren't gathering. Esco has never been that type of dude that always wanted the limelight. He stayed true his whole career. And granted, This is about Relevancy and Jim Jones and Nas. Neither one of them are perfect men. Everyone's flawed. But when it comes to comparison, y'all gotta knock this off. Because you're dealing with the situation and the topic within the vacuum. And you really start breaking it down, it really doesn't make sense. Wall Street Trapper is a phenomenal investor from what we see, right? Some of the stuff that he shares and how his story went and turned his life around based on what we've been told. But just because he's more relevant than Warren Buffett, does that mean he's more effective? We gotta really start thinking about things, man. Relevant. Everything is cameras, lights, camera, action, glitz, glamour. Let's get back to who's effective. And when we're talking hits, no comparison. When we're talking culture over a long period of time, because Jim Jones got some decades in, no comparison. When we're talking writing, no comparison. Even on the fashion sense, was tip when Nas first came out. If you know, you know. So, shout out to Jim Jones, shout out to the best ever Nas, and to all the pundits and the media personalities and the YouTubers and the influencers who are pushing this whack narrative. Let's bring it to a cease because it doesn't even make any sense. Relevancy. Everybody doesn't want to fit in. Some people just want to be unique, bring something different to the game, and remain effective. That's what it's about, effectiveness. All right? That's just my opinion. About to finish up my walk. Y'all be good today. Happy Father's Day to all the gentlemen out there. All right? Go get your Gia.
Hey, yo, Eeze.